Spotlight Saturday in the state of Kentucky in the USL. Louisville City in the East has already won to take first place. Meanwhile, in the Western Conference, San Antonio is perfect through 3 games, and Lexington SC, unbeaten in their first 3 in the championship, put that record on the line. With Casey White, Mike Watts, think about the players that Lexington has brought in. Nick Firmino, one of the best in the league. Marcus Epps has been there, done that, won 9 t-shirts. Kendall Berkson from San Antonio. Rodriguez from Tacoma and Seattle. You have your goalkeeper and your goal scorer in Catterer and Burke. But they've got their midfield right too. Speedy Williams is unavailable for selection, a 4-time champion. So it's his partner in midfield in Sofian Default who's going to have to carry the load tonight.
Default is definitely going to have to do even more. He navigates pressure so well. He has an ability to break lines. So just the dictating of rhythm and tempo and getting him the ball is going to be important to Lexington's attack.
Conversely, San Antonio, an incredible man-marking system under Alan Marcina for 5 seasons. That was 4 playoff runs. They won the Shield. They put that star above their crest. But the wheels fell off last year. Carlos Llamosa comes in, and their defense has been markedly improved. And Casey, when you start with a former Defender of the Year anchoring your back line, the expectations are high.
They are, and that helps, doesn't it? To have a player of his caliber, Mitchell Tainter, in that center back role, it just steadies your back line and everyone around you. He does all the small details right to ensure that they can have as many clean sheets as possible and be incredibly hard to score on.
Only 1 goal conceded. It was a bicycle kick in a win against Oakland in front of 26,000. San Antonio is no shrinking violet. The 2022 champion puts their perfect record on the line in Lexington. 2 of the 3 Western unbeatens match up when we come back.
I shouldn't be here. That's what the first 3 doctors said. That even if I made it to remission, I'd probably never climb again. But I did, because I wanted a different answer. And I found it at UK Healthcare. They took a drug nobody else had yet. 12 rounds of chemo and a 16-person team. But here I am, right where I was never supposed to be.
Who is Lexington Sporting Club? We are the professional soccer team in the heart of the Bluegrass. From our Youth Academy to the Women's Super League to the Men's USL Championship team, we're building the future. From every corner of Lexington, we are united under one crest. This is your team. This is your community. Together, we are creating our story and leaving our mark. This isn't just any club. It's a club to call your own. Get your tickets today at lexsporting.com/tickets.
Success isn't a game of chance. It's about making the right moves. Just like Lexington Sporting Club, Commonwealth Credit Union aims to win by helping you defend your goals and keeping your money on the attack. As the official credit union of Lexington Sporting Club, we're empowering success on the field and in your finances with smarter banking options and unbeatable service. Are you ready to take the lead? Then get the home field advantage for your finances, only with Commonwealth Credit Union. Here, we see you differently.
We live with you, build with you, grow up with you, and dream with you. At Central Bank, we belong to the same communities you do. You're our neighbors, friends, and business partners. And through the relationships we build with you every day, we consistently serve you better. That's what highly personal banking is all about. We start with you.
They arrive in Lexington, 2022 double winner, Shield and Championship. San Antonio pay their first ever visit to Lexington SC Stadium. Mike Watts and the former national teamer Casey White. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for Lexington. They're forced into some changes. Joe Hafferty, injured against Indy 11, is out. Speedy Williams not in the team either due to injury.
And Jabert comes into that back line alongside Burks and Barbier. Look for Sargent to get in a more advanced position. And then, like we spoke about, Jafal earlier will be an important piece of this midfield, partnering with Caceres in that midfield role in the double pivot. And then Burke and Epps up top, looking to create as many goal-scoring chances as possible for Lexington.
Conversely, for San Antonio, Carlos Yamosa has a lot to like about where they're at right now. Still, he made 3 changes, including Nelson Flores Blanco's season debut.
And he'll slide into the back line off the left side. Cronali will partner with Tainter in the back. They'll look to continue to be stingy defensively and control things from the center of the park. And up top, LaCava and Pacheco look for their partnership to create opportunities in that attacking third.
Should be a fun one tonight, no doubt about it. There are 4 teams league-wide that remain unbeaten at this stage. Detroit fell out of the ranks of the unbeaten. Tulsa as well. Meanwhile, San Antonio, the only team that can say they have yet to drop points. Take anything from this game, and they'll leave the week in at least a share of the Shield lead after 4 games. Opening whistle, and here we go. Lexington gets the first touch and underway in the highlight match of the Western Conference in Week 4. Lexington hosts San Antonio. Hawkinson sends it back, and Tainter forward for San Antonio. Lexington describing to us through their manager, Terry Boss, there have been those "this is us" moments, and you've coached around teams and played in teams, Casey, long enough to know that spark with the right kindle, and all of a sudden you're off and running. This Lexington team may be onto something in early stages.
Well, and I think when you see that and you fight against different types of elements in your first few games, you start to see that fight and that you can work back from anything. I think that's an important piece for any kind of club and team that's just trying to come together early on.
Throw in from Gibert. Of course, the last 2 years for Lexington in League One. Only returned 3 players from last season's team. Here is Gibert. 3 years at Oregon State, including time with Terry Boss. His first start for Lexington tonight after the injury to Joe Hafferty. This overcooked by San Antonio. And Logan Ketterer will have this played into his feet. Flores Blanco trained on Thursday. Questions as to whether or not he'd be ready to go here tonight. He is. Go from the start.
And you're seeing early San Antonio just trying to press from the front very aggressively. That's where they're trying to win the ball. So it's going to be important for Lexington to figure out what spaces are available to them early on in this one.
Ball prodded away from Jorge Hernandez. Firmino. It was his manager in Atlanta described him as one of the best in the USL. Primarily featured with the second team for Atlanta United. Long ball driven over the top, and at the edge of the penalty area, Richard Sanchez pulls it in. Only 3 starts a year ago. Had 2 clean sheets in that time. 3 starts this year, 2 clean sheets already. And of course, 3 wins. You can argue Lexington has been on hand for the best goal of the year right off the bat from Joe Hafferty. You could argue San Antonio saw the best goal of the season so far at the Coliseum last week in front of over 26,000 fans. A bicycle kick, although San Antonio proved triumphant. Sanchez put under pressure and Epps chasing. Terry Boss taking over this side after 2 years in Austin as an assistant to Josh Wolf. Highly successful as the head coach at Oregon State. And so far, so good for Lexington. It was fun hearing him describe the idea of having a project where you can go and find the players that fit your system as opposed to joining a team in progress, so to speak, where contracts are what they are. and you kind of have to gerrymander it, jerry-rig it together.
There's so much freedom in that because you have a vision for what you want to do. You get to start from that point of being able to pick really the players and handpick the ones you want that fit that style and can play together.
Skipped out over the line. San Antonio flying forward. And this dropped in behind. Ketterer did well to drop that at the edge of the penalty area after quelling the threat. Carlos Llamosa taking over from Alan Marcina. Paid a lot of respect to the former San Antonio manager. Knowledge that he leaves a legacy. The star on the crest is when Alan was leading the side. But it is a very different look from San Antonio, where in the past it was man marking for the most part, which is a full commitment to pressure on every individual. This is much more of a collective defending approach. Well,
and whatever your style of play chooses to be, you've got to have complete buy-in. You have to have the organization as well to be able to give to your players, but your players have to do it and have to make it work and execute. So we see a different style of play from the defensive standpoint, but the players are bought in and they're doing very well on the defensive side. In the end, Marco Ferruzzi deciding to change from what was the highest passes per defensive action, which is a way of describing the intensity of press team in the league, to a side with more possessional ideal and ultimately, yes, a more collective approach to defending. Trotting down the line. Poked free. And with San Antonio now. All the way down to Ketterer. We welcome fans to the 2025 USL Kickoff presented by Terminix. Throughout the month of March, USL kicking off across the country. Join us for all the action on ESPN and CBS Sports platforms. San Antonio will kick off April with the first national television game of the year when they see Phoenix Rising hosting the Final Four, and CBS will have coverage of both the Final Four and this huge game, San Antonio-Phoenix, Sunday at 3 Central Time. Ball whipped in by Epps. Well, I like this ball in because Epps gets it and they don't force it. He plays the ball behind, gets it back, and is able to set this up. There's 3 runners in the penalty area. I like that run in behind. It just makes the defender hesitate just a bit to be able to get the ball across, and then it's cleared out by Canali. Commonwealth Credit Union corner, and Jafal put that fairly dangerous spot. There is Richard Sanchez, 29 games in MLS, went through Hartford and Memphis before landing in San Antonio. Was on the books at Tigres at a point in time. You could say they were the team of the decade in Mexico. Team that, while he was there, won all the domestic titles, but fell tantalizingly short in Champions League final after Champions League final before finally climbing over the top. Fantastic pedigree. A little space to run into here. Jafal slips it through. Keeper's out, and Sanchez makes it really difficult for Corey Burke. This is really good defensive play first and foremost that turns into the attack. They win the ball in the back 3 from a long ball, and then this incisive pass from Jafal into Burke. Sanchez does come out, makes it hard, just whipping too much across his body, but I love the pace of pass from the holding midfielder to set Burke up.
Torrey Burke, late ad, end of February coming in, twice an MLS Cup runner-up, including subbing for Red Bull in the 2024 final just about 4 months ago against Galaxy. Ball in that Sanchez was unable to get a touch on. And it's a foot race. Hawkinson sees this angle out of play. He scored the 69th minute game winner at Oakland last weekend. Here's Epps. Ball through. A real chance now for Lexington. Numbers joining in the attack. Ball shuffled across, and Lexington has the opening goal. It is Firmino, his first for Lexington SC. 1-0 against the team top the table.
And this is an incredibly sophisticated build-up, a very good finish on the end of it, of course, but it all starts with Epps in midfield, just slowing play down, being nice and composed. He spins out of pressure, and it takes 2 passes to break down the entire line of San Antonio. A great ball in behind. This ball played across just on the second touch, looking for runners, picks Firmino out, and it's a great finish. Even takes a foul right afterwards, but it wouldn't matter. But I love the play through and just springing into the outside channel here.
Sargent gets the assist with a picturesque ball into Firmino. And Lexington has San Antonio sweating already. The only perfect side in the league has conceded just their second goal in 4 games. And Lexington ahead on home ground.
What's really interesting, too, is we just saw just minutes before being able to have that incisive pass through the center of the back line as well of San Antonio, and then the goal right after.
Awkward giveaway. Soto in reverse. There's Cronali. Speared centrally, but the offside flag intervenes. LSC fans, visit lexsporting.com to get your latest Lexington SC news, merchandise, and discounted ticket offers. That's lexsporting.com. Play on, they were giving the advantage, now they've brought it back. And if you look, Sargent was standing. If that diag gets hit there, we're having a very similar conversation to what led to the goal.
It is, and he's more in that advanced position. We'll see how they're trying to build out here. It's Firmino gets around the first defender, and then the foul called in that moment. But you're right, if they get out of that area with Kieran Sargent being so high off that left side, it creates problems because he's in an advanced position, and the outside back has to make a decision whether to stay or go defensively.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting hearing about Kieran Sargent. The numbers in Houston were statistically non-existent. And a player of his caliber, when you talk to Terry Boss, he goes, he should be dominating the next pro level. And then you dig a little deeper and you realize that the advanced statistics, how many times you're getting to the end line, how far advanced you are on the field, they're excellent. The service is decent, but there's no one making the run. So you don't get the assists that go with it. Well, there he is, marauding up the touchline, playing perfect service, and Firmino that time was there, and now 2 assists in 4 games.
And credit Terry Boss for looking at the deeper things as well, because you need to look at more. There's more than that in the game of football. There's context and how, yes, stats can help that, but also just what you create is really important as well.
There is Sargent plodding down the line. That's a thrown out of corner. Sargent is the youngest player in the 11 tonight for Lexington at 21. And they saw him at Georgetown and felt like he was going to play a borderline identical role to what he did with the Hoyas.
I think with a player like Sargent, when you have someone who can put as much output and covering as much ground as he can, it allows you to put some different personnel around him that can play more inverted, more inside, just create different types of looks for defenses that makes it more sophisticated.
Buckmaster helped up by Burke. Buckmaster finishing last year in San Antonio, began with Hartford. And I think one of the things that really stands out to me about this San Antonio team is that the last handful of years they were very lone dependent. This ball through and runs back to Sanchez. There's something to be said about the fact that this roster feels relatively complete relative to past years as this ball lobbed across. No Grieve tonight. Shannon Gomez unavailable off international duty. Ball angled through, and there's Ketterer to pull it in. But a ton of talent in this San Antonio team that they essentially rebuilt. They returned to 10, including an all-league midfielder in Hernandez. The defender of the year just a couple years ago, Mitchell Tainer, back on a new deal. Jake LaCava, who was a young player of the year finalist 3 years ago in the league in Tampa Bay. Ball tapped through, and there's Epps. Epps headed down and in, it's Burke. Corey Burke, the finishing touch. It's dreamland in Lexington. Wow, what a goal for Lexington SC.
And again, it just looks like when San Antonio's in their expansive shape, they're making the right decisions, Lexington, of when to go forward. And this one is all coming from Epps. He does incredibly well in the final third, but going long, instead of trying to play short, let's switch it up a little bit, be a bit unpredictable. This is helped on by Burke, and he'll end up being the recipient of his good work. Marcus Epps does a great job to come in, plays it across, incredibly unselfish in that moment, but I love this. When you see this happen, you want to run off that. Just be optimistic that it's going to go in behind.
What a clever jump stop from Marcus Epps. And Burke, as good a finisher as you'll find, has his first goal for Lexington. And it is 2-0 in no time at all. Beware of flying soccer balls. It's interesting, it's easy to look at Lexington and say it's an expansion team relative to the championship. But Terry Boss spoke about, really glowingly so, about the fan support at opening day here. The Super League team is off the ground. 2 years in League One that were frustrating results-wise for the men's side. They've been starving for a team that gets off to a start like this in a game and a season.
And what that does too for players, not only for city and fans and everyone around it, but for players, the confidence just grows because you could see in training potentially it's going well or preseason, but until you start seeing those good things happen when it matters, that's really when your confidence builds and teams can really get on a run at that point.
Truthfully, Terry Boss admitted a lot of people look at some of the college approaches that can be taken, essentially treating players like human beings is the way he describes it. How does that translate to the pro game? If you start with 4 losses, people will ask if it translates at all. You start with the best run in club history through 3 seasons, and now you can start saying, see?
Winning solves everything, right? I mean, you don't get questioned. If whatever works, you get the buy-in from players and you start to get results on the field, it's working.
Right. Nick Firmino got a yellow card, and that's why you heard the smattering of boos there. Show you how Firmino got his first yellow of the season. Ball's out of play, kicks it off the tee, delaying the restart.
Hey, that looks like a game of horseshoes I used to play when I played. Put it on the cone, knock it off the cone. That's exactly what that looks like. What I like about what Lexington is doing off that left side is Rodriguez is coming more inverted and creating that 4v3 overload in the central channel that allows Sargent to stay high, and San Antonio just hasn't quite figured out in midfield how to deal with that.
Apps finds the move inside, ball back toward Burke. Billows out to the halfway line. Runs away from Kendall Burks. Madronda played about a lot of outside back at the MLS level, twice an Open Cup winner. Kansas City won MLS Cup in Kansas City, won the Champions League in Seattle, won MLS Cup in Columbus. Going back to his native Colombia last year to play at Deportivo Cali. And now back in the States. Leading touch. Ketterer backs in. Ball angled in front and now dealt with.
These are good moments here for San Antonio, just to settle in possession a little bit. When you find yourself down 2-0 with some time left, you don't want to just rush it and get out of your style of play. So just being able to keep possession for a little bit more and more spells of play will be good for them.
Ball inside from Hernandez. It's a good intervention. Whoa, what a hit! And what a goal for San Antonio! How in the world did Madronda get that on frame? And a lot of air just came out of the building. Madronda from outside the area makes it 2-1.
This is a spectacular take from Madronda. Just has a little bit of space and says, why not? That last touch sets it up perfectly. And look at it, it's bending outside the post, away from goal, knuckles back to go into the side netting. I don't know if you hit a strike from that distance better than that.
Jimmy Madronda's first goal in the championship is a total stunner. And this game is absolutely living up to the billing. Wow. All right, if you're San Antonio, the first 20 minutes, real tough pill to swallow. This was a good mark, similar to Oakland, where you take the early lead, you give up the bicycle kick. That's 26,000 pouring over you. Good response. Can Lexington strike back in good measure? This deflects, and Epps will track it down. Goes 1v1. These gut checks early in the season are coaches, well, it makes it for a lot of gray hairs. occasional bald spots, but it also tells you a lot about your group.
It does. It's one of those things as a coach you want, but you also don't want. But you know that it's good for you. It's too long of a season to not face certain things early on, so you see where your team is tested.
Commonwealth Credit Union corner kick. Sofiane Javal. Skews high, and now the run out's on for San Antonio. And slipped ahead at the halfway line. Full speed ahead, charging into the box, LaCava. And from a corner on one end to a corner on the other in 20 seconds flat.
Well, that's what happens when you miss it at the top of the penalty area, too. It didn't look quite organized well enough there from Lexington in the defending transition piece, and it gives up the corner kick on the opposite side.
"19 assists the last 2 years for Jorge Hernandez, one of the best in the league. A golden playmaker, some might say. Hernandez stroked away. Madron to Weinhot. Woo! Ricochets back out.
That trajectory looked very similar if it had not hit a player in that moment.
It sure did. Contact in the penalty area, and they're saying that caught an arm. San Antonio is headed to the spot with a chance to equalize. Epic turnaround for SAFC on the road.
Well, why not with this service, putting it into a back post area? This is really dangerous. You get it into the penalty box, you never know exactly what's going to happen. There was some contact early right there. It was just a little bit of the ankle with the contact on Cronali, and that's where the penalty kick comes from.
So Cronali drew it, remained forward off the set piece. And this went from utter disaster on the road to potentially polling level in no time at all. Hernandez stands over the ball. To equalize for San Antonio, the chip is in. Jorge Hernandez has San Antonio equal before half an hour.
In the 27th minute, San Antonio FC goal, number 10, Jorge Hernandez Ezequiel.
And this is how quickly the game can change. You go Lexington all in the beginning, then this is how we get to this point for the second goal. The foul in the penalty area, it's Kieran Sargent clipping the heels of Cronali. Penalty kick is called, and this takes some bravery and some confidence, doesn't it, from Hernandez, making Ketterer go down and just coolly puts it up the middle to tie the game.
A little testicular fortitude from Jorge Hernandez. Against a really experienced goalkeeper. San Antonio 2, Lexington 2.
And I guess they picked the right person to step up in that moment because that was incredibly important and took a lot of bravery.
Wow. So San Antonio does not, in fact, have a glass jaw.
No, they don't.
They took a heck of a punch.
On the road, going down 2 goals. I mean, incredible. And it takes big-time players stepping up. And both of those goals, incredibly nice. Yes, one was a penalty kick, but the finish was good, the way they set it up. But you need that first one that was hit by Madronda just to get that little bit of belief to get back into the game.
Firmino in the 11th, Burke in the 16th. Madronda in the 23rd, Hernandez in the 27th, and contact at the edge of the area. This is a free kick. Or no, it is out over the line. That is merely a goal kick. Lexington just trying to find their land legs again.
When San Antonio is feeling it a little bit, trying to create the 2v1. There's a little bit of contact on Pacheco, but does touch the ball first in that sliding challenge in the back line.
What a start. A soccer season is here. SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get all your USL tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site. SeatGeek, your ticket to great seats. Any seat in this venue and you've already gotten your money's worth. 4 goals in half an hour. Sun setting in Kentucky.
What's interesting about it is it's not one of those games that you're like, this is very end-to-end and it's very open. There's been some really good play and some good back and forth. It's just really good moments from players stepping up when needed to convert.
Bounced back in play and over the line. Hey, cheers to local beer. West 6th Brewing, proud to be the official craft beer of Lexington Sporting Club. Find their locally crafted beers all around the state of Kentucky, from the flagship West 6th IPA to Sixer Light Lager. There's something for everyone. Head to west6th.com to visit one of their dynamic tap rooms. Learn more about Stadium Ale, the official craft beer of Lexington SC. Comes to the top of the 18. Hernandez downshifting. Knocked toward goal by Pacheco. Pinballs around before Lexington get it to halfway.
Well, understandably so. San Antonio's gotten a little bit more of the possession here. They look like their movement's a little bit better than the first 20 minutes or so, and you're starting to see more of that attack in the final third and the possession tilt their way.
Soto. Madronda. And a rare misstep over the last 10 minutes from San Antonio. Their 10th year in the championship, and the entire Lexington staff is huddled around the laptop now.
Well, I certainly don't know what they're looking for. There's a lot of options, but I think for Caceres and Jafal, if they can get on the ball a little bit more, that's when Lexington looked their best in possession. But right now, it's about slowing down San Antonio, to be honest.
And you've seeded a free kick to Hernandez, whose jersey is coming apart at the seams. Well, the jersey's fine, but now it's just Hernandez.
This is a counter-pressing moment right here. They lose possession, they don't get it back, and San Antonio just gains a little bit of space facing forward with Hernandez there.
Hernandez. And that'll reach the top row. We caught our breath yet. Hey fans, visit lexsporting.com to shop at the Lexington SC team store. It's a one-stop destination for all the latest LSC gear, official merchandise. Purchase the brand new kits, scarves, hats, and more. Show off your club pride. lexsporting.com. This is in the would love to wear it, would hate to broadcast it Hall of Fame. Sort of the glossy metallic letters,
yes,
and
definitely.
numbers. Yeah.
It looks good though.
Yeah. Like there, I mean, brilliant.
Exactly.
Here, who are these people? These are made for you, not for us. That's a royal you. Circulated back, and Mitchell Tainer goes to work.
The long service is working for San Antonio. It's not clear possession, but they're just able to gain a little bit more territory, and you just feel that as the half goes on, not only getting the goals back, but just the possession swinging their way as well, and that now they're the ones starting to make better decisions on the ball going forward.
Reese Buckmaster. No, that's not going to win any new friends. Denali's going to get a talking to. Him and Burke are about to become real acquainted tonight.
And Burke's just come back to the ball quite often, trying to hold up play. It's Crinali saying, no, thank you. You're not going to get out of here with possession, but obvious foul there for the referee.
Practically arboreal height, 6'5", Alex Crinali. Was in Columbus initially with Greg Berhalter and Caleb Porter. It was Tommy Sohn who was scouting for Columbus at the time. Brought him to Birmingham. Spent 5 years there. 135 league games for the former Big Ten Defender of the Year. And Crinali, probably without doubt, the best center back partner Mitchell Tainer has had back there, due respect to others. Pretty formidable. Also a pair you would never want to see in a dark alleyway.
Yeah, they're very good together for sure. They're definitely stingy defensively.
Flanked off of Epps. And down goes Hawkinson.
But this is just smart. In those moments where Lexington's reeling a little bit because they've given up 2 goals, you're just using that over-aggressiveness to draw fouls. And now you've got this service into the box that's going to be incredibly difficult to manage. But right here is where you actually have to show patience as a defender. He's not facing your goal. Let him keep possession of the ball, just force him backwards.
Ketterer sets the line. Hernandez peels one in behind. Hawkinson. A header loops above the bar. Another decent look here for San Antonio, who've had really all the chances since that second goal.
They really have. It's almost gotten life back into their group, and understandably so. And I like this run from Hawkinson. It's been really industrious all over, playing off both sides, takes on in the 1v1, plays it into an area that's just dangerous. But I like the movement as well from Pacheco, just to get in front of the defender at the last second.
Get the latest Lexington SC news right at your fingertips. Download the official mobile app powered by Fan 360. Get access to exclusive content while shopping for season tickets and LSC gear. All the Lexington SC fan app. See what the news is at the end of this game. Will they remain unbeaten? Win a couple of draws. Dancing through, aimed at frame, that carom straight back out. Gibert. Epps.
Antonio just really shutting down the center of midfield right now. They've adjusted well in that because earlier in the game they were able to play through centrally Lexington, and now really only spaces are wide to try to get around the outside backs.
Burke coming down to try and win it back. Last touch by Madronda. Big diagonal that stretches out beyond Epps. Fancy football is here. You can live your dream and rep your team. Play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball free to play, so download now. Free kick, and how quick can you take it? The foul from Hawkinson.
Well, it didn't work out there to play it quick and be able to penetrate forward, but the more Lexington keeps the ball, they go into more of this defensive block, San Antonio, and it's hard to break it down. You've got to have ball movement, you got to have the speed of play, or you got to dribble, penetrate to draw someone out. And that's where Lexington is struggling a little bit in possession of how to break it down. Yeah, that got to Caceres, and he had nowhere to go. It's extremely tight, and they have the 2 blocks of 4 with Hernandez kind of going in front and 1 high as well in Pacheco. And it's just keeping it really tight there between the back line and midfield. Ketterer just hit a 50-yard ball into a player coming from an offside position. One very clear opportunity, and the first goal for Lexington came when San Antonio was a little higher up in their mid-block defensively. They're able to find the space in behind it. You almost get the sense that they're going to back off a little bit now, stay more compact, so you can have it up there. So unless we're pressing high, be really compact and make it hard for Lexington to break down our compact block. A lot of pressure, but a lot of room now to run once they broke through it. Ahead for Burke, offside. But that's the hard part of stepping. San Antonio's front line wanted to step and press. They saw a cue to step, a backwards pass. This is where we can get them, but you've got to all go. Otherwise, there's way too much space between the lines. It's exactly what happens here. And they're able to get their 10s facing forward on the half turn, fully going into the attacking third. Just the timing of run off from Burke, but that is the risk of San Antonio when they start to press out of their mid-block. Box levied through. Approaching halftime in a game that's had a little bit of everything. Slaloming run out of midfield. Nowhere to go for Sargent. Rodriguez gave chase away from Burke. Tainter. Flores Blanco. Stiff-armed by Epps. Can't watch the match? You can turn on SiriusXM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for mostly engaging soccer talk, including sometimes USL All Access. It's on Tuesday nights, plus your live matches, USL, MLS, Premier League, and more. It's all on SiriusXM FC 157
and the new SiriusXM app. Last week, USL President Paul McDonough answering 30 minutes of Devin Kerr's questions on the adoption of promotion relegation set to come to the USL just about a month after they announced the plans to acquire sanctioning for a Division I league. That full interview available as well on USL's YouTube page.
I think when the game gets stretched a little bit, that's where San Antonio looks like they might be in a little bit of trouble. We're starting to see that when they start to go long, yes, they pick up second balls well, and so there's some options and opportunities for them, but they leave themselves a little bit exposed at the back for Lexington to try to penetrate forward.
That stayed in, it was a dime. Instead, it's about a foot too far. 3 minutes of added time.
Well, it's definitely an area that you just point out that they're trying to find, because Sargent usually is in a much higher position. He was back further in that moment. Technically, it wasn't executed necessarily, goes out of bounds, but that space is an area that they could take advantage of in transition.
Burke comes reacquainted with Crinali. Madronda, what a strike to get San Antonio back in the game. Big switch, Flores Blanco. Hernandez is able to hold on. Hawkinson thought the run was peeling the other way from Hernandez.
Early on in this half, we saw some times where San Antonio was able to press pretty well to the back, and we'll see it right now. I was just wondering if Lexington was going to take that risk here in the last minute or so to build out, because the press of San Antonio is really difficult when they start a bit higher up, and you'll see that Ketterer is choosing just to go long, especially at this point in the game.
Credit goes both ways. Lexington, 2 goals in about a 5-minute span, top of the world. San Antonio responds with 2 goals in less than 5 minutes as well, including a stunner from Madronda. And Lexington, rather than spontaneously combusting, will keep this level going to the break. Both sides probably going to feel like their heads are spinning at halftime. Hernandez could be the last real action of the half. Leaping over the top, and that was more of a leapfrog.
And this isn't a bad service from the back post area. I like the area he's going to, back of the 6, but can't be climbing up on other players to help you out, and that's why it's called.
That is halftime. Try and put that to words, huh?
That's not easy. I'm going to just talk about maybe what we're going to see for San Antonio. They're going to have to be really careful in transition, because they work to get back into this game, and they look a lot better towards the end of the first half.
Well, Corey Burke and Lexington ran out to a 2-goal lead in no time at all. Fans certainly got what they came for, but it took quite the frightening turn. Dreamland came back to earth. Goals from Firmino and Burke in the 11th and the 16th. Then Hernandez and Madronda respond in kind. 2-2 at halftime.
UK Healthcare Orthopedic Surgery and Sports Medicine offers comprehensive treatments for bone, joint, and muscle disorders and injuries of all types. From complex repairs to complete replacements. UKHealthcare.com, the power of advanced medicine.
Race to the top.
You're on.
It's time to power up your old checking account. That's why Commonwealth Credit Union created Power Checking. This incredible all-in-one account powers your spending and with built-in high-yield savings, grows your balance at the same time. No minimums, no limits, just unparalleled benefits.
Raise it back down.
So kick it up a notch with Power Checking, only from Commonwealth Credit Union, the official credit union of Lexington SC.
Lexington is the Kentuckiest place in the world. Just look at it. It's by far the bluegrassiest, the bourbonist. See? The artsiest, and hands down, the horsiest. Oh, look, that one has a baby. I don't know why you would look anywhere else. Looking for the coolest, most Kentuckiest getaway? Look at Lexington.
Who is Lexington Sporting Club? We are the professional soccer team in the heart of the bluegrass. From our Youth Academy to the Women's Super League to the Men's USL Championship team, we're building the future. From every corner of Lexington, we are united under one crest. This is your team. This is your community. Together, we are creating our story and leaving our mark. This isn't just any club. It's a club to call your own. Get your tickets today at lexsporting.com/tickets.
UK Healthcare Orthopedic Surgery and Sports Medicine offers comprehensive treatments for bone, joint, and muscle disorders and injuries of all types. From complex repairs to complete replacements. UKHealthcare.com, the power of advanced medicine.
The goal of the week in Week 4 may have already occurred here in Lexington tonight. Lexington 2, San Antonio 2 at the intermission. Plenty of great options for goal and save of the week in Week 3. Time to see what the fans selected. Here they are, the best of Week 3.
It's a big throw. Chavez at the front post. Will fall on the volley to McManus. Trying to get it back in. Chavez stopped. A reactionary volley that Johan Garibay was equal to. Here's a chance for one Knoxville. The flag will stay down. One-on-one, and no mistake made. Mark Doyle opens the scoring.
Agart's ball in, would just needed a touch, still does, oh what a save! What a save by Nico Campuzano, he looked beaten.
Covering the biggest story in USL and US soccer this week, Paul McDonough sits down with Devin.
Division 1 is coming. Promotion and relegation just right around the corner. What sort of expansion are we going to see nationwide, and sustainability? That is the biggest buzzword I took away from coming out of this interview with President Paul McDonough. He takes a deep dive, no questions off the table in our half hour together.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Success doesn't come easy. It takes grit, hustle, and relentless effort. step forward brings you closer to greatness. This is your moment. Elevate your game. El Jimador Spiked Bebidas.
And it's a tremendous finish! San Antonio FC! Unreal! And Phoenix rising!
Lexington is the Kentuckiest place in the world. Just look at it. It's by far the bluegrassiest, the bourbonist. See? The artsiest, and hands down, the horsiest. Oh, look, that one has a baby. I don't know why you would look anywhere else. Looking for the coolest, most Kentuckiest getaway? Look at Lexington.
Back at Lexington SC Stadium in Kentucky, San Antonio's first ever visit looked like a nightmare, and yet they pulled 2 goals back, and we are even at halftime. Mike Casey, let's show you the USL Championship news and notes. 25 players in the championship in League One are headed to their national teams for the international break. You know, we spoke with Carlos Llamosa about it, talked about how going to Oakland with San Antonio last week was such a bright moment for him, for the league. 26,500 at the Coliseum. And then, Casey, all anyone can talk about. The USL announced that a super majority of owners had voted to institute promotion and relegation.
Well, all of this is really exciting, and that absolutely changes the landscape of soccer in America.
Exciting to see the new chapter just set to begin in either 2027 or 2028, according to league president Paul McDonough. Meanwhile, scores from around the league yesterday. Tulsa get a late 86th minute winner to knock off Sacramento. El Paso get a late winner as Wahab Akwe scores in the 86th to get by Hartford. Loudon a 2-0 win against Rhode Island, who are now winless through 3. Louisville knocks Detroit out of the ranks of the unbeaten with 2 goals to the good at home. Serrano and Wilson, the goal scorers. Plenty of action ongoing over on ESPN Plus right now for those who enjoy having 2 screens up. Indy and Colorado Springs, the reigning champ, on level terms. Foster early and Marco Micheletto in the 43rd. Foster, of course, a former Colorado Springs player. The Hounds are up on the Legion, and North Carolina 2-1 lead over the Charleston Battery. Eastern Conference finalist a year ago. Cal Jennings, a goal from the spot right before halftime. And here's what it looks like coming up around the league later tonight here on the Golazo Network. You'll see Monterey Bay taking on Phoenix. Phoenix will meet this San Antonio team on CBS next Sunday afternoon. And Oakland to Las Vegas. They'll pull the curtain back again at the Coliseum. And dare I say, there's a little bit of beef between those 2 cities and the Coliseum. Lexington 2, San Antonio 2 at the half under the lights. How did it happen? Tough to explain. We'll show you after this.
Success isn't a game of chance. It's about making the right moves. Just like Lexington Sporting Club, Commonwealth Credit Union aims to win by helping you defend your goals and keeping your money on the attack. As the official credit union of Lexington Sporting Club, we're empowering success on the field and in your finances with smarter banking options and unbeatable service. Are you ready to take the lead? Then get the home field advantage for your finances, only with Commonwealth Credit Union. Here, we see you differently.
Who is Lexington Sporting Club? We are the professional soccer team in the heart of the Bluegrass. From our Youth Academy to the Women's Super League to the Men's USL Championship team, we're building a future. From every corner of Lexington, we are united under one crest. This is your team. This is your community. Together, we are creating our story and leaving our mark. This isn't just any club. It's a club to call your own. Get your tickets today at lexsporting.com/tickets.
I shouldn't be here. That's what the first 3 doctors said. That even if I made it to remission, I'd probably never climb again. But I did, because I wanted a different answer. And I found it at UK Healthcare. They took a drug nobody else had yet. 12 rounds of chemo and a 16-person team. But here I am, right where I was never supposed to be.
Race to the top.
You're on.
It's time to power up your old checking account. That's why Commonwealth Credit Union created Power Checking. This incredible all-in-one account powers your spending, and with built-in high-yield savings, grows your balance at the same time. No minimums, no limits, just unparalleled benefits.
Raise it back down.
So kick it up a notch with Power Checking, only from Commonwealth Credit Union, the official credit union of Lexington SC.
Lexington SC giving the fans all they can handle in this first half. It's a good day to have a defibrillator on hand. Lexington 2, San Antonio 2. Mike Casey, here come the highlights from the first half, and there are a lot of them, and they begin early. We start with Nick Firmino in the 11th minute of play.
Rodriguez is able to find Sargent in the wide space. He takes a quick little look, and it's Firmino coming into the penalty box for the finish. This was early on in the 11th minute after Lexington started off very quick. A great finish to take the lead. And just 5 minutes later, another one would come off the service of Ketterer, a direct ball. Burke helps it on, and Epps decides to go in on his own. But Burke is the recipient of it on the header. A really unselfish ball played across from Epps.
And in 16 minutes, Lexington 2 goals ahead of the only perfect team remaining in the championship. But there's a reason for that. Jimmy Madronda, this is a magic trick.
Madronda just steps up. He gets about a yard of space. There's no turning back. He doesn't even think twice about this. Absolutely knuckles it outside the range of the goal, comes back in. Nothing Ketterer can do in that moment. And just a couple minutes later, the service off the left foot to the back post. Cronali goes down. A penalty kick is called, and Hernandez steps up. Incredibly cool, incredibly calm, and a great finish to tie the game.
Just like Marta, the Panenka goes a long way, chips it right down the middle, sends Ketterer, and sends San Antonio onto level terms. Here are the halftime stats. Stats don't do this justice. I mean, it was really some great individual moments that define this.
I think you're exactly right on that. Yes, the possession tilts towards Lexington at 57%. A lot of that around the back and in the middle third, especially early on in the game. But everything else pretty even with 7-5 in shots. But you're right, just some individual moments of brilliance, or like we talked about with the penalty kick, just going into the penalty kick, putting a good service in, and then converting when needed.
So the light show begins here in Lexington, and it'll conclude with the second half kickoff. A thoroughly confused referee checks the Apple Watch.
It's ready to go now.
Here we go. John Matto sends us into the second half. And if it's anything like the first half, it'll finish 4-4. I don't know. San Antonio 3-0-0. Lexington a win and a pair of draws. San Antonio wins over Monterey Bay, Pittsburgh, and Oakland. And after goals from Firmino and Burke, retribution from Madronda and Hernandez. And that perfect record is still very much within reach. They're the only team in the league that can say that. Louisville, for instance, now on 10 points. Above them in the standings for the Players' Shield. But that can all change in short order here, just 4 weeks into the campaign. This given away cheaply, and San Antonio is off to the races. Losing his footing. Hernandez, this comes back. LaCava. Long run to keep this in, and Ketterer does so. It's live ball instead of a corner. Lexington better wake up.
Well, I like that Ketterer Witten did that, because the best thing about what Lexington did later in the half was not conceding a third goal, because San Antonio got momentum after they got those 2 goals. We're back in the game, and Lexington steadied the ship. That turnover, plus potentially giving up a corner kick, would have been a really bad start to the second half.
Sargent. That's a back pass gone awry. San Antonio on the run again. Mendez and Pacheco were leading the charge. Ronda gets taken out, and Lexington can load up and bring numbers on the counter. Sargent put it at the spot, and Firmino, less than 3 minutes out of halftime, in a really good position.
And again, it's Sargent that's getting in that advanced position in the wide area that's causing issues for San Antonio, but it starts with a turnover in midfield. Madronda isn't able to keep it. Firmino starts the attack, looking, scanning, plays off to his left side as Sargent gets forward past Rodriguez, and he tries to return the favor here, just not able to connect on the finish.
But the right idea for Firmino, who scored in the 11th minute. Had 3 goals in MLS Next Pro last year, but 2023 exploded with Atlanta United 2. 16 goals, 4th most in Next Pro, and in the best 11. Almost everybody acknowledges the standard there a bit lower. 16 goals in a Sunday league is impressive. Firmino drawing a lot of praise. Gonzalo Pineda when he was still the manager in Atlanta for those performances. Square back by Sargent.
One of the things San Antonio is doing is they're really shadowing the 2 holding midfielders of Lexington. The front 2 are just trying to screen the pass. They do not want them on the ball in possession, so make the center backs be the ones that are setting play and build up.
There is Barbier. Rodriguez jostles inside. Spun across Caceres, and now through by Firmino. This will be a corner. A reminder to be sure to visit lexsporting.com. Get your latest Lexington SC merchandise and discounted ticket offers. lexsporting.com. Commonwealth Credit Union corner, Jafal. We'll do it again.
It's a nice little switch up from Jafal there, just making sure San Antonio is organized. Are they paying attention? And they were in that moment, came to the near post area. But I like that, just a little bit of unpredictability off the set piece.
Ball nodded away. Played centrally by Barbier, who is still forward. How about a 3rd successive corner?
Well, what's also kind of underrated at times is just your organization off the clearances from the corner kicks, and Lexington has been organized well, especially on that one right there, to get a second chance opportunity and then rewarded with the 3rd corner kick. A lot of times that can kind of go to the wayside, but you can really generate some dangerous chances by just being organized.
Ball across, header saved off the line. Sanchez swats it down, and San Antonio get it away. And now the counter was on and now snuffed out back to Ketterer. Here comes San Antonio. Approaching the end line. How about we go back to the goal line clearance that kept this level?
And this is as close as it gets. A great ball in here. A good, well-timed run. Flick to the back post. Just getting on the end of it was Tainter right there, covering him behind Sanchez just like he should. A great header to flick it on in that moment. And that's how close it was to being 3-2.
No Speedy Williams tonight. Cameron Lancaster remains out. Joe Hafferty injured against Indy, unavailable. Key pieces missing out of each line for Lexington. Ball smashed across by Sargent. San Antonio making a number of changes to their 11 tonight. Not the least of which Alex Grieve unavailable for selection. Burke, solo mission. Keeper came out for it. Epps spots Sargent. Really high advanced position from the outside back. Rodriguez, Sargent curling his run, stayed onside. Service inward toward Firmino.
Lexington's doing a really good job of their organization behind the ball, as there'll be a whistle there, but they've done really well to make sure that San Antonio can't get out.
And an injury back behind the play to Tainter. And you saw the ref went and asked, do you want someone to come take a look? He said yes.
Well, at any level, center backs are normally not someone you want to have to remove from the game, so they'll see if Tainter can go here in this moment, but especially one like Tainter, who is the captain and also just has such good organizational skills and everything he does in the back line in such a tight game. Taking a look at the last play as this ball gets played in. Tainter's going for the ball to clear it in that moment and just holds up just a little bit after that clearance. It doesn't seem to be moving normally right after, and that's when he goes down on this clearance out.
You know, we talk about the idea of buy-in and what San Antonio has been for the last 5 years. There's the motion. Mitch's day is done. The concept of mentality monster really goes back to Alan Marcina's adage that the best way to get more than your money's worth out of a player is by improving their mentality, improving their confidence, having them believe in something greater than themselves and buy into that with full intensity. And Mitch Tainter, for the last handful of years, including that fantastic 2022 season, was the epitome of San Antonio Football Club on the field. He was, as a defender, the perfect fit for what they've attempted to do. And to see him come out, and a genuine guy as well. Always enjoy chatting with him around a lot of the national television games that San Antonio's been a part of, including that 2022 final. Seeing him hobble off is a difficult scene at this juncture. He's replaced by Alexi Sawahi, who was brought in from Tulsa over the offseason. A like-for-like change. The captain's armband has been handed to Alex Crinali. And Tainer shares a moment with his manager, Carlos Yamosa. And we're hoping in the grand scheme that there's good news in terms of what that injury looks like going forward. All the while, Lexington immediately going right at that back line, and Crinali puts it out for a corner.
Well, if you're Lexington, you don't want to let them settle in very well in the back line, so I think it's a great decision to go immediately at them, try to make something happen, see as they sort it out if they can capitalize on any type of mistake at the back with the new partnership of Sawahi and Crinali in there.
Commonwealth Credit Union corner kick. This will sit up for Firmino. Drops it back. A lot of traffic. Hit last off of Rodriguez.
Well, it's a good service. It goes a little bit further than probably anticipated and farther out as it's an outswinging ball. Firmino does well to settle it, and you've got to like from Sargent stepping up in this moment, looking to take the one-time shot. It does go off Rodriguez. A lot of traffic in front.
Throw coming for Buckmaster, holding a pristine Select ball. Select proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. The Academy to the big leagues. Select there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com. The latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. Toward the bleachers. And as quick as a throw for San Antonio, it's Lexington get a chance to reboot here. Sargent. That takes a deflection and brings up above the bar. So another corner coming as we approach the hour mark.
Well, this is really the first time we've seen Jafal come into the back line to set play. He's not really getting it in the midfield, so dropping off and spraying that ball into Sargent, it's a different type of build-up pattern that I think can work for Lexington if they get him on the ball a little bit more.
Short corner. Ooh, that just wiggles around. Epps, delicious ball across the face of goal. Now the other side, not without options.
Well, that was a great ball played across. I like this. Just switching it up a little bit, creating a 3v2, doing really well to slip it in there. Epps plays it in. Burke has to come back away from the ball because he's in an offside position, and he might have had the best opportunity to go for it, but had to leave it as the runners were coming through. I like that right there, finding Caceres. It might seem like a simple pass, but getting them more involved facing forward can help build numbers, especially in the outside channels.
Bad giveaway off the back line and well covered by Burks, but It continues here for San Antonio. That was read like a book. This is one of a number of games you'll see on the CBS Sports Golazo Network for free each week. There is a game coming up in about 90 minutes out in Monterey Bay. Union taking on Phoenix Rising tonight. Part of a championship Golazo doubleheader. And a fun one tonight here between two of the 4 unbeatens remaining in the league. Lifted in over the top.
This possession by San Antonio forces Lexington more into a 4-back. I think it bodes well for them if they can keep Sargent on the back line for Lexington. That shows that they're gaining territory, gaining space, and able to get a little bit more possession. We saw this in the first half where Lexington had the majority of possession early. We've seen it in the second half, and then San Antonio starts to build into the game a little bit more as they figure out the spaces.
Not the best initial touch, so a bit hurried in the end. They couldn't dissect for Rodriguez. Contemplated giving the foul. Now the foul certainly given. LaCava tumbles.
LaCava does well just to take that last little touch to go in front of Sargent. He steps away from the foul, then the foul comes eventually right there as LaCava looks to play more direct.
Is this song popular?
I cannot confirm or deny that. I'm not sure.
Well,
It's ambitious. It's ambitious. Trying to get on the left foot there for him.
you have one of the great goals of the early going of the season. It's like, all right, let's see what Madronda's got.
Well, sometimes if you're feeling it, you want to go to that person, give him the ball, but that has to be technically on the ground. It's bouncing. That's a tough one to ask.
Yeah. That was a heat check gone wrong. Because the goal was great, and what, 10 minutes later, similarly got a hold of one that was blocked.
You never know.
Yeah. This overruns Lexington. We've got 25 minutes to go here. West 6th Brewing, a proud partner of the Lexington Sporting Club with dynamic taproom locations all throughout the state of Kentucky. You can enjoy West 6th locally crafted beers for all your adventures. Enjoy a Stadium Ale, the official craft beer of Lexington SC at all home games or at your favorite retailers around Lexington.
And And again, Lexington just trying to figure out this mid-block. It's fine to keep possession around here, but you got to draw out a player, try to break lines. That's what they did well in the first half, and finally doing it around the outside.
Rodriguez, that is 3 white shirts pulled together. Burks.
And speaking with Terry Boss, this is where he did make mention he wanted them to control possession a little bit higher up the field. They have had good spells of possession, but can you do that in your attacking third? It's incredibly difficult at times.
Barbier on the switch, and it's essentially a pick play that they're trying to get Epps free on. LaCava wins another free kick.
And just looking to play long again. When you do that, sometimes things can happen. You see a little bit of shove in the back. There's just no real need for it. Maybe a little bit light on the foul with what we've seen, but LaCava has position and the foul's called.
These set pieces have been really dangerous. This is something San Antonio has been great at for years. Though they do not have one of their primary targets. Mitchell Tainter came off due to injury here in the second half. Excellent ball off the underside of the bar, and the whistle had gone. Was offside. Wow. That was beautiful ball for Pacheco.
This is really nice. I think everyone thinks Hernandez is going to take this. He's been taking them all, but the run from deep was really nice from Pacheco. Well timed, goes off the crossbar. You can see Buckmaster doesn't understand what's going on there, but I thought it was a pretty well timed run.
Yeah, and you see the player down behind. Very well could have been the foul instead. That freeze made me think perhaps the run had gone awry. I don't think that was the case. Rodriguez opens this up. Sargent cuts it back across. Deflected away. Epps. Still it's on here for Lexington. Popped up across the face of goal. Keeper came, didn't get it. Sargent spins. Sends high. Aimed at target. Deflects out for a corner. Hectic stuff.
Well, it's good play in the attacking final third for Lexington, finding Sargent out wide in this moment. Rodriguez takes a look, finds him on his left foot. His first touch lets him down a little bit. It takes him a little too wide, but credit his decision to play it back across to Epps. Sawahi comes in and blocks the shot, but good opportunities for Lexington on the counter.
An injured player inside the 18 is Madronda, and they stop play as a result. From a purely health of the player standpoint, you have to stop it in that moment, even though Lexington was preparing to cross the ball back in.
I completely agree. When the player's down like that, you have to be able to do that. You got to protect the players. We'll see what happens right here. Just a collision in the penalty area. It actually looked like it might be initiated by Madronda a little bit there, but still making sure he's okay. He goes down right away and still hasn't gotten up.
There is no VAR in the championship, so whether a foul or not, this purely just becomes a question of making sure Madronda doesn't get trampled when there's service and all these players rushing back toward the goal mouth. can see Lexington doesn't like the outcome, I think. It went from you're about to cross the ball back through to looks like they're going to drop this to Sanchez and let him kick it away back to Lexington.
And honestly, that might be more of the issue of why Lexington is upset.
That's actually something I haven't seen yet. That is only the captain, which by putting his arms over his head, the referee signaled everyone has to walk away from me except for the designated captain, or if your goalkeeper is your captain, a designated vice captain. And so the conversation goes from 10 people around you to merely having just the two principal actors.
And you can see exactly why it's in place too, because immediately he had some space to be able to talk to them. Everyone got away, and you can see why it works.
Well, and this isn't kick the ball back. This is San Antonio taking possession and a free kick. Well, now I doubly understand Lexington's frustration.
Definitely. They're in possession of the ball, wanting to serve, and then giving the ball to the opposite team. You can understand why they were continuing to speak to our center official on that.
But it's something MLS and NWSL and all USL Pro Leagues have done in unison, in concert with Pro this year, adding that new wrinkle to ensure the referee's safety for one, but also the continuity of the game and making sure that all sides understand the decision. Whether they like it or not is an entirely different argument.
Right, and I think you make a good point. We know it's for referee safety and to make sure that that's first and foremost, but just to move on with the call, move on with the game, not so many people being involved, and for clarity purposes as well.
Yeah, I've probably seen or been a part now of something like 12 to 15 games this year, and that's the first time I saw it utilized.
Me too.
But it was the right use for sure. Lexington is planning to make changes, but not quite yet. They have yet to go to their bench. The only sub in this game was Sawahian, the injured Mitchell Tainer. Madronda. Waiting back on it, here's Epps. Comes up to Madronda. Pitchforked wide. And now service whipped through off Crinali. Rodriguez offering back in. Tapped over to Sargent. Sprinting in behind, Rodriguez playing level with the top of the 18. Sargent helping to create some space for Barbier. Sargent never stopped moving. Here he is. Ball across the face, drops. Apps kept away at the last moment, and Hernandez chases it down.
Really nice defending for Hernandez, that recovery run, because it was some great spells of possession from Lexington in that final third.
Out to halfway, a leading headed touch. Serve back to Ketterer. Lexington will be home for the next round of the U.S. Open Cup against Columbus Crew 2 on Tuesday, then go to El Paso before a 3-game homestand in April. The next home match for the Lexington FC women's team is Sunday, April 6th. 2 p.m. they'll see Dallas Trinity FC. Lexi Missimo and crew. Visit lexsporting.com. Purchase your tickets now. It's a foul. Madronda felt like he got pretty well kicked.
And I've definitely seen a change in the counter pressing. Not only that, but also the possession in this final third. Rodriguez is trying to create something. He loses possession, and he does come in a little bit late and takes out Madronda in that moment. But what we're seeing from Lexington is more of a commitment to make runs above the ball in that final third. It's led by Sargent, and now they're able to have some more dynamic movement to create chances.
Barbier off, Goldthorpe on. That is Lexington not being satisfied with a draw. Epps, Burke the target. You wonder to an extent, is this just, you feel the momentum on your side, you go ahead and shove some chips in the table right now, see where you land, then reassess in a few minutes. Are you comfortable changing shape here? Here's Goldthorpe, fresh into the game. Goldthorpe.
Now you're just seeing San Antonio's having to absorb this pressure of possession. They're getting more and more condensed, and that's normal, but they need to step out a little bit more as Lexington continues to try to go down in these wide channels.
Goldthorpe again. Out into space, foot race.
What they've done is put Goldthorpe where Sargent was, even a little bit higher up. So it's not even about coming out of a 4-back and making it a 3-back. They're just having him high and saying, we'll keep Sargent in here, and he can also generate some attack going forward and joining Goldthorpe.
Goldthorpe playing ahead. Rodriguez. Ball across, falls right at the penalty spot. Burke tries to turn back inside. This hit from range.
Well, and I like from Sargent that he takes it forward off the dribble. That allows Goldthorpe more time, the inside to outside run from Rodriguez, and he's pinpointing, trying to pick out Epps in the, Firmino in the penalty box. Burke is there trying to create something, and Caceres comes through. That probably needs to be a strike rather than looking for a placement, because it just gets away from him.
Debut for Caceres out of UCLA. Came out of the Houston Academy. Spoke about great vertical passing range that he possesses. Here's Goldthorpe. San Antonio from 2 goals down through Diego Pacheco. Fans visit lexsport.com. Shop at the Lexington SC Team Store, your one-stop destination for all the latest LSC gear, official merchandise. That's lexsporting.com. Hugo Mong waits to enter. That may well be the player that he's on to replace. Corey Burke getting a bit of a stretch. Probably best known in the States for his time with the Union. Last couple of years at New York Red Bulls. That is, in fact, the end. Corey Burke scored in the 16th. His first for the club in USL play. And Hugo Mbong comes on. That's the second change for Lexington. Mbong brought in on loan from Toronto, was last year with San Antonio. 21 games and 3 goals for SAFC. And perhaps worth noting, he did score in his debut for San Antonio against Colorado Springs. Long hoping to do the same this time against his former team. debuting tonight for Lexington.
Well, everything behind that center forward position is also going well and really going in Lexington's favor. They're generating more possession, especially in the wide channel, so that service is coming across. So just some fresh legs, someone that's reading the game a little bit differently. Burke's done well in there and has had a good performance, but it makes sense to bring someone in that can maybe be a little more opportunistic these last few minutes.
Sargent. Bouncing ball through Nelson Flores Blanco, the Salvadoran full international. Madronda works the give and go. Angles the cross back toward the penalty spot. Good leading touch. What a goal for San Antonio. Jake LaCava from 2 goals down to the lead on the road. And San Antonio may well be perfect through the month of March. What a stunning comeback tonight in Lexington.
Well, and this is really against the run of play. Lexington's had the majority of possession, playing Madronda in, and he just gets the service across. It bounces down to LaCava, and he uses his chest and just wills it into the back of the net. He leaps over a defender there as he chests it here, just puts his right foot out. He's quicker to it than Goldthorpe and catches Ketterer stepping out. What a great finish.
He finished last season in San Antonio. Only 1 goal in 15 games. And LaCava bags a huge goal here, 83 minutes in. And San Antonio, 3 unanswered, have found their way more than back into the game. They found their way into the lead. Triple sub coming for San Antonio. The goal has changed now. They're trying to lock it down. Juan Sebastian Osorio, Nicky Hernandez, and Lucio Barron coming in.
Also in the line for San Antonio FC, number 8, Dominic Hernandez. He replaces number 94, Jimmy Miranda Obando.
Flores Blanco is off. Hawkinson is done. Wow.
Well, and for me, that's just a goal scorer's type of goal. You just get anything you can on it to will it into the back of the net, and LaCava does exactly that in that moment. That's big time.
And Jimmy Madronda taking his time. What a way to earn a curtain call for Jimmy Madronda. That may be the goal of his life he scored back in the 23rd minute that turned this entire game around. Soak it in. 3-2 San Antonio. Juan Sebastian Osorio is the 22-year-old son of Juan Carlos Osorio, longtime manager in the U.S. and in Mexico. And a former Sunday League teammate of Carlos Yamosa, although that's not how that connection came to be. An agent said, I've got this player, has an American passport, playing in the top division in Colombia. You should really give him a look. Said, okay, send me the CV. Turns out that after leaving Portland as an assistant last year, Carlos Yamosa went to Colombia. Was actually living about 10 minutes away from Osorio's home stadium in Colombia. Was there 8 months, said he saw him captain the team 4 or 5 times. Then you get, okay, free agent, no transfer fee, no international spot. Really, none of the conversation centered around having known his dad over 20 years ago. He comes in to help try and see out the game for San Antonio. Juan Sebastian Osorio. Michael Adedukin coming in for Lexington. They may hold this back a moment. Jacob Green's waiting to come in as well. This will be the final window, however it's utilized by Lexington. San Antonio still has one remaining. Eurofeev or Agadello available for San Antonio whenever they do in fact make their 5th and final change, if they do.
When San Antonio is starting to play players even a little bit deeper. They've played in a 4-4-2 mid-block, even into a low block at times against Lexington in this game. And it's becoming even lower as they can feel themselves just needing to see this one out.
Osorio getting the tisk of the referee. Tried to advance a couple extra steps. Dmitry Eurofeev waiting to come in for San Antonio. They'll worry about that in a moment. That is a foul. And a San Antonio free kick over Caceres. Argument to the contrary.
These are critical moments that San Antonio is doing really well with. Hernandez going into the corner, just taking on the 1v1. No real look to go forward. He just wants to keep it there, so kind of buy some time, and then uses the extra push of Caceres, the impatience there to draw the foul, and it just takes more time off the clock.
No, this is it for San Antonio sub-wise. Diogo Pacheco is set to come off. Thev to replace him. And there's the change. See Pacheco off in the corner, went to the nearest line. So there is Eurofeev. Lexington may not want to make their subs on a defensive set piece. Taking short here, San Antonio happy to take the time. Now whisk one across, header smashed down, and Ketterer looking for distribution.
Good recovery there by Javert, but I'm not surprised that Lexington is trying to go long, but San Antonio just better at getting those second chance and those second ball opportunities in the middle third.
Here are the changes for Lexington, trying to evade their first defeat in the championship. Green sprinting on. Adedukin coming in as well for Firmino. And Javert, one tap for Green. And that is the final substitution window for Lexington. So we're done sub-wise.
Well done there, though, by San Antonio in the middle third to stop that transition, because ultimately Lexington is chasing right now, and that's what they're looking for, is just to be able to break out in transition if they can't settle into that play around the back.
Eight minutes of added time. In this game, that is an eternity. Sanchez. Green. Stabbed away from Addy Dukin. 2v2 the other way for San Antonio, looking to insert the dagger. Makava.
Well done by Burks there in transition, but LaCava's just looking to go forward, and he's shown the yellow card in that moment for pushing the ball away, but that's what's going to happen. And San Antonio's going to find a lot of space, but that's okay. Lexington has to commit numbers forward in their possession, trying to make something happen. LaCava goes the opposite way. Burks is there trying to chase him down, times his tackle quite well in that moment, and it goes out for the goal kick.
The referee has issued a Hicks and Funson yellow card to San Antonio FC's number 9, Jake LaCava.
Sargent. So work through the left-hand side. Sargent on the other end of it. Slid out corner.
That's well done by Sargent. Caceres dropped into the back line, so he's able to get even higher with Goldthorpe. Now they're finally creating those 3 against 1s, 3 against 2s wide.
Is there a magic moment here? Jafal and Lexington. Attempt to take that out of the air. Blockaded from the counter. Contact in the area. Referee waves the player back up. Instantly said there was nothing to it. Five more minutes. And Hernandez is down away from the play. You don't blame anyone who's exhausted at this point, but San Antonio doesn't have any subs left. Hernandez is back up. Oh. Back up and quite nearly siphoned that off. Goldthorpe. Free kick, Lexington. And now it's boiling a bit. Hernandez, Nicky Hernandez. And Sargent, moment unbecoming.
You can just see both personalities coming out, a lot of passion going forward. Lexington is creating some good opportunities, though, so they got to keep their heads about them, trying to get this, and especially San Antonio as well. You have the lead, no need to get involved in any of this, but it's easier said than done. Playing out of the back, Caceres is kind of pulling the strings, finds Goldthorpe, who looks to take on the 1v1, is taken out, draws the foul, and then you'll see a bit of the extracurriculars right after between Hernandez and Sargent.
Ball whipped in, backside header gets out, corner. Crowds come to life here. Jafal's been taking all the set pieces, just took that free kick. He's gonna race to the corner to try and get this moving as fast as he can. There are good points and bad points. Lexington looking to steal a good one here at the end. Ball knotted high for a blast back into traffic. Throw, Lexington. Just looking for a ball to get in. Kendall Burks throwing long. Cleared high and hit from range, out of play. Sargent looking to be the hero.
Good organization behind the ball, off the throw-in for Sargent to be able to step in. This throw goes deep into the penalty area. It is eventually cleared out, but just stepping up on the second touch, trying to go for goal.
Sanchez is hurt a lot worse than counting to 15. 100 seconds or so remain. Fav forces Lexington to have to put this back in play. Came off the head of Adedukin. Footing lost. Ball, however, regained by Burks. And we're getting down to now or never. Caceres pushing forward. Sargent threading too far.
Anything that Lexington's done has really been down this left side through Sargent. He's done really well to get forward, whether it's been out of a 3-back or higher up, but he can't quite seem to connect in that final third.
Sanchez did get a yellow for time wasting, and so every time you see that, you always sort of wonder if the referee's a little more inclined to see this out just a little bit longer. Free kick San Antonio. That may be the rest of the sand through the hourglass. That is it! San Antonio from 2 goals down keep their perfect run to the season alive. 4 wins from 4 for Carlos Llamosa and San Antonio FC. A remarkable win in Lexington. And Lexington tastes defeat for the first time in the championship.
Well, it started so well for Lexington, but San Antonio is tested yet again, this time giving up more goals, but still they figure out a way, whether it's individual brilliance, whether it's just continuing to be opportunistic and come back, they figure out a way to get the 3 points.
Wow. Well, this wrap-up is going to have a lot of twists and turns. You're going to want to stick around for a moment. We'll show you how the 5 goals were scored. The first 2 by Lexington, the last 3 from San Antonio, the finale from that man. La Cava and San Antonio take all 3 points. 3-2 win. We'll wrap it up after this.
Who is Lexington Sporting Club? We are the professional soccer team in the heart of the Bluegrass. From our Youth Academy to the Women's Super League to the Men's USL Championship team, we're building the future. From every corner of Lexington, we are united under one crest. This is your team. This is your community. Together, we are creating our story and leaving our mark. This isn't just any club. It's a club to call your own. Get your tickets today at lexsporting.com/tickets.
Success isn't a game of chance. It's about making the right moves. Just like Lexington Sporting Club, Commonwealth Credit Union aims to win by helping you defend your goals and keeping your money on the attack. As the official credit union of Lexington Sporting Club, we're empowering success on the field and in your finances with smarter banking options and unbeatable service. Are you ready to take the lead? Then get the home field advantage for your finances, only with Commonwealth Credit Union. Here, we see you differently.
Lexington is the Kentuckiest place in the world. Just look at it. It's by far the bluegrassiest, the bourbonist. See? The artsiest, and hands down, the horsiest. Oh, look, that one has a baby. I don't know why you would look anywhere else. Looking for the coolest, most Kentuckiest getaway? Look at Lexington.
Jake La Cava scores his 2nd goal for San Antonio FC, and this one's a winner. Crazy game tonight in the Bluegrass State. San Antonio 3, Lexington 2. Mike Watts, Casey White, here we go. Full-time highlights. All Lexington in the first 20 minutes. It was seemingly their night.
It was incisive. It was going forward at all times. Sargent plays Firmino across after the winner.
Here are the full-time stats, and San Antonio, you want to talk efficient, 3 goals and 4 shots on target, and Lexington, again, I think the best way to put it, there were those this is us moments, but it wasn't 90 minutes tonight.
You're right. They definitely increased their possession in the second half, getting up to 61%. They turned that into shots, not as many on target with only 5 out of 17. But they did have good play in the run of play. Just in that final third, weren't able to turn it into as much of efficiency as San Antonio was on the evening.
And so that's it tonight. San Antonio will host Phoenix on CBS next Sunday afternoon. Lexington will play in the Open Cup on Tuesday night back here, go away to El Paso, and then start a 3-game homestand through the middle of April. Madronda, what a moment. San Antonio, 4 wins from 4, and they're the top team in the championship at the end of March. For Casey, Mike, thanks for watching. So long. Good night.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.